Hey, Nicole Huntsman, your astrologer from moderncosmic.com. On this video series, we're going to talk about the South Node of the Moon. And in particular, we're going to look at how the South Node holds some secrets or some perhaps illumination about the past relationship information you're bringing forward with this person. Now, this could be from one life, it could be from multiple lives. It's more the themes that you're bringing forward, okay? So as we look at the South Node, many times we will see a story unfold, but mainly really focus on the themes, the thematic elements. Now, the way you're going to do this, if you're unsure of how to find the South Node, what you're going to do first, go to astro.com. You need to draw up a Davison chart. This is what we're going to use for this exercise. You can use a composite, but I prefer the Davison. The Davison chart is simply a chart that takes the midpoint of your birth dates, it's that date in the middle, your birth times, the time in the middle, and the actual locations, the latitude and longitude between the two locations you were born. So this is its own little chart, and this is an actual chart that happened on a day in history at an actual place. Might be like a farm field out in the middle of Idaho, but whatever, it's an actual place. And then you can take that chart and you can do progressions, and you can do solar arcs, and you can do solar returns, etc., with this. So this chart shows you the relationship's purpose. And in that purpose, it shows you the past, things that have been brought forward from the past, and the future, what the point is. Why are you together in this life? For what purpose? And it shows you how this will unfold. Very helpful, because you can then see areas where you are blocked as a couple and areas where you excel. And also, we're headed in this direction, but maybe we should be headed in this direction. Maybe we're trying to make this into a marriage, but maybe we're just supposed to be friends, or etc. Now, with the South Node, also when you're drawing up that chart, I forgot to mention, click on the box that says descending node. Use descending node, okay? That will allow this to pop up on the chart. Otherwise, it's just going to be exactly opposite the North Node. The North Node looks kind of like a little horseshoe. It's like a little upside down horseshoe, as someone mentioned in a comment on the video earlier. With your South Node, make a note. It's easiest if you write it down, if that way you can, or else this can get kind of confusing. So first write down the zodiac sign that the South Node is in, okay? Then write down the house placement. Okay. Then you're going to look at the ruler of the zodiac sign of that South Node and the ruler of the natural ruler of the house that this South Node is falling into. All right. Find those, locate those two planets, and you can do the same thing with those planets. But make a note of each time you move. Let's say the ruler of the South Node is the moon. Go to the moon, look at the zodiac sign that it's in. Let's say it's in Aries. Okay, let's say it's in the third house or something. Make a note of that, and then move on to the Mars and where it's located. And you can just keep doing this until you hit a dead end, like you return to a planet you've already looked at. Now, with this information, this gives you a full arsenal of forensic data that you can then create a picture with that can tell you a little bit of backstory. If you've got a relationship too, by the way, look at the South Node and how it relates to each individual's chart. Very important. South Node is, it's the theme. It's the theme from the past that's being brought forward. And many times, if this is a significant relationship, you're going to see it relating to each person's chart, okay? In particular, sun, moon, angles, or the angular houses. Those are really important. As well as, it can be the personal planets too, but really you want to see the luminaries of one person's chart and the South Node, or the ruler of the South Node of the other, of the relationship, talking to each other, of both people's charts. I'm sorry, I'm being confusing. Okay, now we're going to go on. Each video, I'm going to just talk about, each of the zodiac signs, the South Node. We'll talk about the key themes. We'll talk about what that relationship looked like thematically, and then the lessons that are to be brought forward in this relationship that relate to the North Node. Okay? And let me know if you have questions. All right, on to the South Nodes through the zodiac. Gemini, or third house South Node or placement. So Gemini is our twins. Gemini has to do with, we're talking about past lives as themes, has to do with communication and with commerce. I immediately think of school or a business or something with transportation. This to me feels even like siblings. This could be a past life where if you were lovers, there's a good chance that you had some of these themes playing out in your relationship, okay? Now, I've got to look at my little notes that I have here, because it's just what we do. Of course, look at the Mercury placement by house, by zodiac sign, and by aspects being made to the Mercury. Okay, that's the ruler of your South Node in this case. As I said, this could be business related, education related. There's a possibility that you had a business that involved transportation or commerce. There's a possibility that you had a relationship that revolved around even like the gathering of information. You could have been writers, you could have been communicators of some kind. This can also be a relationship where you had a teacher-student relationship, where one of you taught the other one, and where it was like a learning relationship based on the information you could share with one another. Now, and as I said too, the third house and Gemini have to do with siblings. This could also be a sibling relationship. So that's sort of that idea of being twins with one another. Okay, now in this life, what you're going to bring forward. Now, Gemini, remember, South Node, we're looking at kind of the lower versions of the zodiac sign. Gemini South Node can be a little focused on the surface and not so focused on, and can lack stick-to-itiveness, all right? So maybe you had a past life where it was a student-teacher relationship and now you're lovers. Very different, right? The student-teacher relationship has an element of being transitory, or there's not a lot to lose, emotionally. It's not an emotionally based relationship. So maybe in this life, it's now time to operate from a place that's more heart-centered. Depends on, it's the North Node Sagittarius, so it's a growth relationship. You're still teaching each other, but it's kind of more about the deeper wisdom and the existential meaning behind relating to one another and behind what it is. Look at the house placements to see how this plays out for you. It could be very different depending upon house placement. I would also say there is a requirement for focus on sharing some kind of a vision. Gemini is almost more of like I said, it's that more surface energy. It's more about the learning, being the apprentice, being the student, and now it's as though the relationship gets to be the teacher. So we could see this with a partnership, if you had a dynamic partnership where they were here to be teacher, guru, guide, they themselves as a partnership, they were here to sort of share their vision with the world around them, or even in their personal sphere. I always do feel like with the mutable signs, these are big time growth relationships. I suppose all relationships are, but the relationship itself doesn't have a clearly delineated, it's this, and this that we're here to figure out. There's more of a lightness to a Gemini Sagittarius South North Node axis. So it's more about being in the space of thought and ideas and play, because Gemini and Sagittarius are very much about play. You could have had a past life where the relationship was way too focused on the Gemini lower side of being really kind of just not taking anything seriously. And so in this life, the relationship is meant to be one where you got to look at the rest of the chart, of course, but perhaps these couples come together to learn some serious themes in this life, to give a little bit of weight and to sort of apply the things they learned in that past life. Okay. If you have questions, let me know, and post your comments if you've got this axis to be these nodes in your Davison. That'd be great to hear your thoughts. All right. Have a good one. Bye-bye.